What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. Today we're going to get into our first game of Rain and Iron. Now, I don't normally do it this way, but because it's the first game, I want to walk through all the setup steps in case that is how you choose to do it. Before we do that, just allow me to encourage, coerce, convince you to smash the buttons if you enjoy the content. Leave a comment, maybe check out the links in the description for Patreon and that kind of thing, because all of that stuff is what keeps this rolling. That being said, we're going to start off by generating our terrain, which is first off a D3 roll. 1, so we're going to have light terrain, so we're going to be rolling once for each quarter of the board. 1, 2, 3, 4. At northwest corner, where we get city building. 1d3 city buildings. 3 city buildings. For the second quarter, we're going to get 1d3 city buildings or ruins. 2. Because even in a future devoid of humans, dollar generals are still managing to reproduce. Quadrant will be 1d3 pools or crags. So we're going to even pools, odd crags. Odd is crags, and we get 2 of them. Last quadrant. 4 is ruins or pools. Even will be the ruins. Odd is pools, and we get D3 of them. 3 of them. Roll a D3 to see what kind of pools we get. 2 are deep water pools. So that means that when we go in it, when we first move into it, we roll a D6. On a 6 plus, the movement ends immediately. Preventing any further movement, the model may move as normal in future rounds. With that done, we're going to add a little bit of set dressing just to perk it up a little bit. And then we are ready to place our objectives. 3 objectives since we're playing solo. And then we're going to generate some enemies. It's 4 enemies or 4 rolls per player in a solo game. We're going to be rolling some demons because, of course, we are playing robots. Forget about that roll because it's supposed to be D12s, not D6s. 2, 3, 6, 9. Those rolls gave us a total of 5 Slaughter Fiends, 1 Tally Man, and 1 Spine Demon. Then we need to roll for our scenarios, so we'll do a D6. 1 through 3 is table 1, 4 through 6 is table 2. I'm not going to start off right away with the narrative scenarios. I'm going to kind of work those in. So we're on table 1, scenario 4, which is the holy site. Then, let me get this dice out of the way. We're going to roll to see if we have a complication. 3, no additional complication. So I know that since I'm playing solo, I randomize my starting area. What I'm not sure of, and I can't seem to find, is if the starting area is the entire quadrant of the board or just a piece of it. I'm going to play it as the whole quadrant. So I'm going to randomize mine first. I'm going to be in section 1, which is this one right here with the pools. Demons will be in section 2, which is the one above it with the hotel. Demons are the defender. Robots are the raiders. And there is our initial deployment. To determine that initiative, we roll this handful of D12s. And then we'll sort them in order. Landing us here. Now, I have mechanized action, so I can take 2 of these dice and adjust those rolls up or down to adjust them. So we're going to take that 7, make it an 8, take one of these 6s, make it a 7. And then we roll for our demon host. Also have 7 models. They did way better than me. Demons will start on 11, and we always start with whichever ones are closest to me, which is going to be this Slaughter Fiend right out front. Now, he's not in melee, and he's not close enough to get to me, so he will just shuffle to the objective and claim it. In the scenario, when a demon claims an objective, they heal 1d3 life. However, he's at full health, hasn't taken any damage, so there's nothing to gain there. Demons go again on 10, and at this point, I have to roll a d6 to figure out what he's going to do because none of the other things apply. So, 1. He will move toward the nearest cover and gain a +1 bonus to combat defense rolls until he activates again. Pushing up to the tires. Next demon will just come at me, hopping on the way to grab cover. Next demon will come straight for me. He gets a 6 on that chart, so it's basically a charge action. He gets +3 movement, and he's going to come right for me. Fortunately, bring him into a pool, so on a 6 here, he stops moving. He does not stop moving, but also does not quite make it into melee, which is a 1/2 inch horizontally. At which point, we both have 8s. So I'm going to crack some shots on this guy with my repeater, who's standing right there. I am within 3 inches of my bombard auxiliary, which means that I get +2 range, which isn't going to matter here, but more importantly, I deal an additional damage if I hit. So let's see if what we roll, and then I can switch one of these to a 6. Get 3s to hit there, so the 2 is a miss. And then I do have a crit, so let's see if the demons can block any of it. They're looking for 6s only. They block one of them. 4 damage base, +1 for my bombard, so a total of 5 damage. And I get to make a machine learning roll because I dealt a critical. So that is a 1d6 roll. We're looking for a 5 or better. 3 is not better than 5, so we don't learn anything from that situation. I'm then going to move away just a little bit. We then have our spine demon, who's going to come up 9 because he rolled the special thing. I think 9. We got to see if he stops. He stops dead in his tracks. Both myself and the demons have activations on 7, but since the demons just went, it's my turn next. So I'm going to go with my Bombard Auxiliary next. Bombard Auxiliary is going to take shots at that demon right in front of him. Now, because I'm within 2 or 3 inches of my, no, 8 inches of my processor, the Gundam down here, that means because I'm shooting at a damaged enemy, I get a +1 bonus to the roll. And at combat 7, which means I'm greater than their combat of 6, which means I need 2s. Alright, so we got 2 6s. So that is a crit. And we got a total of 6 successes. His ability doesn't affect himself. We got a machine learning roll to make. So this is a 5-up. We don't learn anything. And then they've got their defense combat roll, combat 6. They block 1 and take 5, which is enough to finish him off. And then I'm going to move. Let's see if I get stuck in the pool. I do not. I've got an extra 2 move because I started my move within 2 or 3 inches of my transport auxiliary right there. But I don't want to move too far. I just want to get to within 3 inches of both of those guys. That just a little bit because I also want to be within 3 inches of my sniper. Alley Man will move towards me and grab cover where possible. He's pretty slow. He's only got a move of 4, so he stops up behind that building right there. Then going to be quite a few activations for me, starting with my sniper at 3. Gonna move just a little so I can get line of sight. And we're gonna pop a shot at that Slaughter Fiend behind the barrier. Now he is in cover, so I suffer a -1 penalty to my combat stat. I'm not, however, at long range because the sniper has a range of 20. However, I get a +2 for making an attack at an enemy outside of melee range. So that's a net of +1, putting me to combat 5 against their combat 6. I'm still going to need 4s to hit. I actually have a +2 range there because I'm within 3 of my bombarder. 2 hits against their combat defense of 6. They block one of them, take one of them, +1 because of the Bombard Auxiliary, which is perfect. I didn't need them to do a lot of damage there. I just needed him to put some damage on it so that my processor would kick off on the next ones that shoot at it. Repeater starts his activation within 3 inches of our Bombard Auxiliary, so he reaps the benefit, which is +2 range, and if I hit, I deal an additional damage, which puts his range to 14, which makes half range 7, which I'm within, but I do want to move just a little bit. Just to right there. Combat +1 -1 for the processor versus the cover keeps me at my standard combat of 6. As a repeater, I can switch one of these to a 6, which isn't going to give me a crit, but will give me another point of damage pushing in. Defense roll for them, looking for 6s. That's cocked. We'll give them a reroll there. No successes. +1 damage from the bombard auxiliary puts me to 6 damage on him. Last activation for the demons is that Slaughter Fiend beside the propane tank who rolled a 5 on his special roll, so he's going to come barreling at that repeater. He is coming right for me. He's a Slaughter Fiend, so he can use focused combat even though he's moving. He's going to be +2 between the 5 and 6 that he rolled and the focus that he's allowed to use while moving. Pretty good. I have 2 6s, so he will crit. I am combat 6. Now I save on 5s as a robot instead of 6s. So we'll block 2 of those. And we're going to take 6. The demon gets to try to gain a charge on a 6 because he crit. He does not. I get to try to machine learn because I was critted against. I do not. I'm dumb. I'm not learning anything. And since he dealt damage, he pushes me back 2 inches. Next up for me is the Blast Servitor down here in the corner who's going to move up his 5, claim the objective, and then open fire on that wounded Slaughter Fiend. Normally combat 5. We go to 6 for the processor, back to 5 for the cover. But we spike the roll pretty hard. Let's see what they do. Block 1 of them. Machine learning, because I crit. Nope, don't learn anything. So that's going to be 4 damage with the bonus from the processor, which is enough to kill that Slaughter Fiend. Processor is going to go next. He's going to step over just a little. Not going into the pond, just stepping near it. He will then open fire on that Slaughter Fiend. No bonuses here. Oh, I guess I should be having bonuses. I forgot all about the combat techniques. We'll get to those on turn 2. Good roll. So I needed 3s there. They save 2 of them. Take 2. I don't have a bonus from the bombard there because I was outside of 3 when I started my activation. So he takes 2. And then I get a machine learning roll because I crit. I machine learn. Round 2 starts with me because I had a 12 and the dirty demons didn't. So I'm going to start with my bombardist, who's going to move up just enough to keep as many comrades as possible within his bubble. And then he's going to take a shot at the Slaughter. Using a running gun, which will give him a +1 bonus to his movement, plus the bonus he got from the transport specialist. However, I don't need for him to go very far. I need him to kind of stay where he is. So, let's take our shot. Currently combat 7 because of the bonus from the processor. Really solid roll, just no crits, but all hits because I'm greater than them. They'll block 1 of them and take 6, putting him to 8 damage taken. Our demons then go on 11, and it'll be this one right here that's already up in the mix. Slaughter Fiend is probably about to wreck my repeater. This is focus while moving because that's what he's allowed to do as a Slaughter Fiend. He swings at me with combat 7, looking for 2s. No crit at least. Attempt to block on 5s with my combat defense of 6. 2 out of my structure 12, and then he will push me back 2 inches. And it'll come to me on 11 as well. I'm going to go next with my Blast Servitor and try to lay some good fire down on this spine demon over here. +1 combat for the focus puts me to 6, which puts me on 3s. And then we'll roll their defense. We're going to block 2 of them. Take 4 because I'm within range of my bombard auxiliary. That self-same Slaughter Fiend will then come at me using the special charge that they have. Winging at combat 7. They get a crit. They can re-roll these from their special ability. And everything hits. I'm combat 6, saving on 5s. Save 1. Gonna take 6 right there. They get to try to get a charge. They do not. I get to try to learn. I do not. And I get to go on 11. I'm going to go with that repeater right there, who's just going to stay put and hit a focus shot. Putting him to a combat 8 with the bonus from the processor and the focus shot. So that will put me on a crit as well as a massive amount of damage. Hopefully. Unless they just absolutely spike this roll. They do not. It's going to kill that demon. Let's see if I learn anything from it. I do not. I'm going to go with that repeater who's currently in combat. He's going to use an evasive maneuvers. So he's going to pull back. Anyone who attacks him has -1 or -2 to their combat stat when they attack him. He's then going to take a shot at that spine demon. Combat 6 base, but +1 for the processor commander. I can switch one of those to a 6. Not enough to get me to a crit, but enough to make sure everything hits. They block 2 of them, take 5. They only have life of 7. Finish off that Slaughter Fiend. I go again next at 8. Transport is going to fly towards the other objective. I go again on 8. We're going to go with the sniper. I'm not going to run and gun. I'm going to focus shot because I'm already within short range of him, which is half of your gun's range. My gun's range is 20, so I'm within 10. I'm at combat 6. I am getting the bonus from my bombard. I'm not getting the bonus from the processor because he's not currently wounded, but I do have my sniper bonus, which gives me +2, and then I have another +1 from focus shot, putting me to 7. It's a lot of 1s. And no crits. He'll block 2 of them, take 3 because of the bonus from the bombard auxiliary. Tallyman will go next. He rolled a 6 for his figure out what he does. So he gets +3 to his move, which is move 7, but he's got to make it through the pool. See if he gets stuck. He does not. So that was 4 inches, 3, and that does not quite bring him into melee. Demon currently holding an objective will go next. He gets a 2. Move up and grab cover, looking in behind the barrier. We both have 5s, but as I did not go last, I go next. We're going to go with the processor. Also, I'm not entirely sure that I'm reading his ability or using his ability correctly. It says they gain a +1 bonus to the dice rolled. So I wonder if that's like +1 to all of the dice, or if that is +1 to the combat stat. I'm going to keep doing it the way I've been doing it, but if that's wrong and anybody knows better, please let me know in the comments. Anyways, processor's coming out to here, and then he's going to open fire on the Tallyman. Technically, I guess this would be a run and gun. So no bonuses from any of the combat styles, but I do have +1 because I managed to learn something. Cocked. Okay. Let's see how he defends. I have no idea what his combat is. He blocks nothing. So I'm going to hit him for 6 damage because I have the bonus from the bombard. And I get to see if I learn anything. I do not. Final demon will come barreling at me. We'll make it in and we'll have a massive combat roll because of his special ability as a Slaughter Fiend to use focus. The bonus from the 6 that he rolled on the chart. Okay, even needing 2s, that's still quite a few failures and no crit. Block 1 of them, take 4. My blast demon will stay put and deliver a focused shot. Need a combat 7 between the processor bonus and the focus shot. So the 1s are misses, but we do have a crit. And it's combat 5. Blocks 1. Takes 4. And then let's see if I learn anything. I do! Also, because I forgot, because it mattered, I dealt 5 damage here. This guy's within 3, so he takes half that damage rounded down. So he takes 2, which turns on the processor for that guy. I activate first in the round. I'm going to activate with this repeater right here, who is going to open fire on that damaged Slaughter Fiend with a focused shot. I'm at 8 here, +1 for the focus, +1 for the processor bonus, since he's now wounded thanks to my Blast Servitor. And I can switch one of those to a 6. That one is cocked up on the side. It was meant to be. Rolled 1 too many dice there, so we're just going to take one of those out since everything was a success anyways. Meaning this guy's in for just an absolute world of hurt here. Blocks none of them. Damage, which with the 2 on him from the blast is enough to kill him. I then get to see if I learn anything. I do! Then on to me at 11, where my processor is going to lay a focus shot on the Tallyman. Now, unlike the Bombard, who specifically says when other friendly models, the processor just says when friendly models. When a friendly robot versus whenever another friendly robot. So I think his ability does apply to himself, which puts me to a massive handful of dice that I rolled really poorly. Combat 5. Blocks 1. So he's going to take 6 there because of my Bombard auxiliary. However, the Tallyman is going to balance the scales, and I am also going to take 6. Which puts a pretty big hurting on me, but I think I'm going to be okay. Slaughter Fiend up here will come at me with his focus, because he's within range to get to me. He needs 3s though, because he doesn't best my combat. Which he gets almost all 3s, so I need 3 blocks here, or my processor goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Processor will go down. He is only structure 13, and that Tallyman did a pretty good number on me. However, I now have ample opportunity to wreak vengeance, just without that sweet, sweet bonus from the processor. Gonna go with the Sniper. Combat 7 with the focus. Good lord. So he's gonna take 4 there. That's at least he's taking damage. Go ahead and go with the Bombardment auxiliary, who will make a focus shot, taking him to a 7. Better. Demon blocks 2, but that is not enough to keep him alive. So he's dead. He'll drop his objective. I get to see if I learn anything. I do learn something. With all the demons off the board, I am free to just move to grab these objectives. At that point, the game would end because there's no more enemies on the board. So for my leader that got axed, I got to roll on the destroyed model table, which is 2d12. 5. Choose my movement, my structure, or my combat, and reduce that stat by 2. It's gonna be move. I don't want to lose combat or structure. We then get to roll to see what our rewards are. We got a 7, which is roll once on the treasure table, which is the robot treasure table. 2d12, a 13. No special update. Every time I roll, I don't get nothing. Special ability only affects rolls on the upgrade or update table, not on the treasure table. XP wise, everybody's going to get 2. Everybody who shows up to the fight gets 1. Everybody who wasn't destroyed gets 1, which would normally put the leader at a disadvantage, but because I was victorious, the leader also gains 1. So everybody gets 2. And then I gain a religious sight, which isn't the greatest ability. It's at the start of each game. I can choose a robot, and whenever that robot makes a roll for dangerous terrain, I can roll twice and select either result. So, minorly helpful depending on how the terrain rolls up for the game. That, my friends, is going to do it for our first game of Rain and Iron. I love it because it feels so much like Rain in Hell, but not. You know, different theme, couple of new different mechanics. Playing the robots is a lot of fun. I was kind of worried in the beginning about, you know, rolling that many of the one kind of demon because they're all like D6 rolls on that chart. But no, that was good. That felt very, very good. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out for a little while for a game of Rain and Iron. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.